It has been a long time since we've gotten a really good Terminator project, and now Netflix is taking a crack at the franchise with their brand new anime series. Are we finally ready to say hasta la vista to mediocrity here, or does the show continue that downward trend? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today I'm very excited because we're talking about Netflix's brand new anime series, Terminator Zero. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. Malcom Lee works to launch a new AI system designed to compete with SkyNet's impending attack on humanity. As Malcom navigates the moral complexities of his creation, he's hunted by an unrelenting assassin from the future, which forever alters the fate of his 3 children. So I've been a massive fan of the first 2 Terminator movies and have thought that they're basically the pinnacle of action sci-fi for as long as I can remember now. I mean, I've seen them both probably 20 times each. I've got a big poster on the wall over there, and I even have a cartoon version of myself as the character for my channel intro. So when I heard that they were turning it into an anime series on Netflix, I was definitely a little bit skeptical given the state of the franchise over recent years. Like a lot of big Hollywood IP, the majority of the sequels have refused to let go of the tried and true formula or attempt to push the universe forward in any kind of an ambitious fashion. Well, I'm happy to say that for the most part, this series does a good job showing us where we realistically can go from here and does so in an entertaining manner. I think if you're someone like me who hasn't really been too impressed with what has come out of this franchise since those first 2 incredible films and want to see what a completely fresh take on the subject matter could bring to the table, then look no further than this series. Because one of the best things about this show is that it proves that there are more stories to be told within this universe that don't have to revolve around the characters we've come to know in this franchise over the decades that it's been going on. Obviously, the grand scheme of the events is still the same regarding SkyNet becoming self-aware and causing Judgment Day on August 29th, 1997, which is actually the same month and day that this series is being released. Gotta love a good Easter egg. But this time we get to see what efforts were made to prevent that from happening with a fresh batch of faces on the complete opposite side of the planet in Japan, while still tackling ideas of nuclear war, artificial intelligence, and what it means to be human. When it comes to the performances, there are definitely a bunch of talented names voicing these characters. I mean, we have Timothy Olyphant, Rosario Dawson, Ann Dowd, and a few others, and I think for the most part, all of them were very solid and embodied their characters well enough. I will say that it seemed like Ann Dowd was phoning it in a little bit with her role as the Prophet, and we didn't get nearly as much Timothy Olyphant as I had wanted. I've been a big fan of his for years, and hearing that he would be the voice of the unstoppable killing machine this time around definitely had me on board. I mean, I could listen to that guy read the phone book, and that's not to say that his Terminator character isn't in the show a lot. He's an ever-present threat looming over these people as they try to complete their goal. He just doesn't talk all that often, which is a bit of a bummer. But at the end of the day, the voice acting is solid enough for a project like this. Now, obviously, since this is an anime, we have to touch on the visuals for a bit, and while I won't say that they're the most engaging or impressive illustrations I've ever seen in the medium before, they definitely still get the job done. A lot of the times when there's any kind of machinery or robotics involved, they'll actually utilize some 3D animation and layer it on top of everything else that's hand-drawn. At first, it kind of felt jarring and out of place, but by the end of the series, I thought it fit pretty well with the style and tone they were going for and made all of the action more interesting to watch. Now, something that I think is important to know before you dive headfirst into this series is that there's definitely a good deal of plot armor involved in a show like this, where you have human beings going toe-to-toe with a pretty much unkillable metal assassin. Like, if you wanted it to be as realistic as it could be, then no one in their right mind would get within a country mile of the Terminator, which would be pretty boring. But I actually think the show being animated makes it a lot more forgivable. Let's be real, this would be one hell of a quick show if Terminators were as deadly in this as we know they can be. And look, I'm not saying that there aren't tons of killing rampages throughout these 8 episodes, but the main characters that are central to the plot and help move the chain of events forward aren't usually in all that much danger. That wasn't a total deal breaker for me by any means, but if you're one of those people where that's going to completely ruin your immersion, that might be a problem for you. Overall, guys, I was pleasantly surprised by Terminator Zero. If you're a big fan of this franchise and want to see what the story could look like if it were taken in a fresh direction, then I think you're going to be pretty happy with this one. It's definitely not without its flaws, especially when it comes to utilizing plot armor and having a narrative that can be a little hard to follow on the first go through. But if you enjoy anime and have been hoping for a story set in this universe that's better than the previous couple of films, this is worth investing your time into. Terminator Zero gets a Sully score of 3.5 stars. So that's my review for the latest Netflix series. What do you think is the next Netflix show that you're looking forward to the most? I'd probably have to say the next season of Squid Game, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.